Yo, what's up, gamers? Guys, if you're not an alpha gamer, subscribe to the channel today. Become an alpha gamer. It's going to change your perspectives in the world. It's going to make you a better gamer. You're going to reach the limits of your gameplay. You're going to reach your true potential today. Hit that subscribe button. You're going to love it. Anyway, let's talk about some real alpha gaming. Some real alpha speedrunning out here. I have been relentlessly working and relentlessly thinking, using my mind, pursuing my mind, and pushing my mind to its limits in the past 5 to 6 months. And I want to talk specifically about natural gameplay, so natural gameplay, but on a macro scale. And then I wanted to clearly define what the hell that is. What does that mean? And then my whole shtick on playstyles too, because I've been going off on these playstyles for I don't know, 5 months now, and I think I finally found a conclusion, a solution to this whole playstyle mess, and I want to share that with you guys too. So exactly what is Macrogame? So I define Macrogame as something that affects every aspect of the game instead of microgame, or we just call it gameplay. That's what most people just call it. It's just one thing. So like how to execute on cold stare, for example, that's just one thing. But I would say Macrogame is an element of gameplay that affects every aspect of the game. So it's not even just D-pad movement, because that doesn't actually affect every aspect of the game. What if you're just matching text? I'm talking about playstyles. Well, that's one aspect of Macrogame. That's why I call it macro natural gameplay, because how do you optimize a playstyle? But I was thinking about it a lot lately, and I've come up with countless ideas in the past 6 months. But I realized all those ideas I'm coming up with: liquid gameplay, self-belief, trying, taking something more seriously. These are actually all true ideas. They're all true statements, which is really great, but they're not doing anything for me, which they actually were doing focusing. They actually were doing a lot for me, but the problem is it's not really the ideas, it's how to approach the ideas. And so I thought about it recently. I realized what I need to do is simplify these complex ideas and simplify Macrogame. One of the big aspects of the original gameplay, that I changed back in January, February, March, I was looking for simpler, more tangible, more recreatable stuff, and then I was only doing that, so I wasn't forcing anything, which is really important. And nowadays, with this playstyle stuff, I'm forcing a lot, and I realize, okay, I gotta get away from the forcing, and I gotta simplify and then only do what I can do, because I learned something really interesting about playstyles in the past 6 months. They actually do work. Like, playstyles do actually work, and mentality, as much flack as I give it, as much I discredit it, and I'm completely justified in discrediting it, because mentality is never shown to actually be substantial. They actually do change your gameplay. It actually does work. It actually does change your gameplay. Well, it doesn't work, but it does have gameplay changes, and that was kind of one thing that I'm starting to recognize. The problem is they don't have long-term gameplay changes. They don't have permanent gameplay changes, and that's kind of the aspect that natural gameplay fixes, because you know what? It was the same with strategies and movement as well, is that I was always forcing the optimal stuff, and I was never doing what I knew how to do, and doing what I knew I could do, and more importantly, looking for what I knew I could do. And that was a huge change when I started to look for stuff I knew I could do. And so I'm thinking about it for this macro game stuff. You know what? What I need to do, what I actually, like, how do you optimize the system? What's the optimal playstyle? This is kind of the big hard questions that natural gameplay actually fixes. How do I optimize this? I need to do what I know I can do, and I need to do what I can recreate, and it's tangible. And so what I'm thinking is I need to simplify my gameplay far more, but also simplify my strategies. And I think that's why one of my strategies back in October was just to try harder. It was an ultimate solution for everything. So no matter what, at any problem, I would say, okay, just try harder. That actually was working, and I think one reason it was working is because it's simple. It's very simple. And I think this simplification in my gameplay is actually going to be really good too, because I started practicing again a few days ago, and I'm starting to realize there's a lot of my gameplay that I could change and fix and improve at, and it's not just get faster. I can actually simplify a lot of what I'm doing. and especially doing these runs. So, and originally when I came up with this idea of macro natural gameplay, because originally I had just naturalized my gameplay almost across the board. My movement was getting very good. It was getting very recreatable. I was getting very good feats. My Son of Best was getting good. All my gold segments, my consistency skyrocketed. Everything was getting good, and I was very happy. But I was still choking across the board, and the nerves were still overtaking me, and I was very frustrated at that. But I also knew at the time, I knew that this was a fixable problem, and it was an effect of bad gameplay. It's not a personality trait. It's purely an effect of bad gameplay, and I knew I had to fix it through naturalizing Macrogame, which I could never have. Since then, I've been trying to do that. I never really figured it out. I've been improving at the game still since then, which is really great. But now I think I'm starting to figure it out. Where I need to not. It's not how crazy or gray the idea is. It's simplify the idea and make it so that you could control it and recreate it endlessly, effortlessly, permanently, right? Hyper recreatable, completely recreatable, right? Completely recreatable means you can redo it, which means that you won't mess up when it's opportune, right? So what are recreatable macro game strategies? And that to me is a big question. But I think this simplification, I think trying to simplify my gameplay is actually a really good step forward too, because another thing that means is that I'm actually looking to improve my gameplay, and that's kind of the one thing about natural gameplay that's interesting is once you change your beliefs, you're forced to change your gameplay. And so what happens is if you can change your beliefs, don't change the gameplay. Once you change the gameplay, your beliefs don't change, and then the gameplay is going to revert. But if you can change your beliefs, what's going to happen is the gameplay is forced to change. It'll never change back, and then it'll change within weeks, overnight, in most of a few months, right? That's the whole point of changing your beliefs and not the gameplay. And so that's kind of something I haven't been doing, and I think the problem, again, is I was looking for something, and then I would find it, and then I would try to apply it. It doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. It's not going to work. I already knew this, but I guess I was stubborn. I'm not really going to make excuses on that one, because that's kind of been my problem my whole life, right? That's always been the problem. That was the problem before. I'm fully aware of this problem. I'm fully expecting to be stubborn in the future about something else. I know I'm being stubborn right now about something. I'm not afraid of that, but I want to be able to fix it. And I think the simplification thing, I think if I can try to start simplify my gameplay, or maybe I should not try. This is kind of the problem with ego. It's like, oh, what should I do? What do I do? But we're going to see how things develop. And I will say these no reset runs I've been doing the past 6 months have been completely mindless. I've gotten almost nothing out of them. If anything, I've actually gotten worse at Link to the Past in the past 6 months, which is unfortunate. But one thing I have noticed is that finally yesterday I was practicing, and then I would do a run and watch it afterwards, and that was really interesting because that's actually only possible if you're doing consistent no reset runs, and it goes deeper because most people think that watching a whole run is a lot easier than it sounds, right? You just watch the run, whatever, it's an hour and a half, no big deal. I mean, you play the game for 6 hours, what's the big deal in watching an hour and a half run? But it's actually a lot harder, and it's a lot more stressful than it seems, and most people aren't doing it. And I've been doing it for the past 4 or 5 days, and it's definitely a lot harder than it is on paper. It's definitely a lot harder, but doing these no reset runs it's made it easier in my mind because I'm more focused on improving and less focused on winning. I'm less focused on doing well. I'm more focused on improving, which actually will allow me to win passively. And so for me to watch a whole run and take notes on it and then practice and then do one no reset run, that's a good day. That's a very good day. And if I could do that 10 or 100 days in a row, that's huge, right? That's a lot more important than resetting and getting a good PB. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Guys, if you're not an alpha gamer, make sure to hit that subscribe button, become an alpha gamer. Going to completely upgrade your gameplay, completely upgrade your mind. New ideas, powerful ideas are going to flood into you. You are going to love that. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.